I pulled my blanket over my head and grunted. Chris, you are already late. I'll be down in a minute. I stretched out my arm and found my phone. I saw the time and it was already 8 a.m. My first lecture started at 8:30 a.m. I got out of bed at once and ran to the shower. I went down dressed up. with my hair still wet. I didn't have enough time to blow dry it. My mom was sitting on the dining table with her breakfast. I picked up the sandwich in my hand and gulped down the glass of milk that my mom had set up on the table. I'm leaving! I opened the door and shut it behind me, almost pushing off the bassinet from our porch. My eyes widened as I saw a baby not older than a month in it. I looked around, but there was no one in sight. I found a small note taped to the handle. This is Eloise. Take care of him. I'm leaving him with you, Anna. I felt the chilly wind on my arms and decided to take the baby inside and call the police. My mom gave me a surprised look as she saw me enter the house again, pushing the bassinet inside. Do we have guests? Someone just left the baby outside. I handed her the note and she read it, narrowing her eyebrows. We should call the police. Can't just leave him outside in the cold. My dad was walking down the stairs, fidgeting with his watch, when he noticed us and stared at the bassinet. What's happening? My mom hands him the note. Should I call the police? No, we can't just, call them. Why? What are we to do then? Let's wait. Maybe the mother comes back. Yeah, she can take the baby from the station. She should be interrogated anyway. Who leaves a baby to a stranger like this? Let's give the woman a chance. I'll stay at home today. Help you out with the baby. What? Why do you want to stay home for that? I really like babies, you know that. Yeah, you guys sort that. I'll go before I'm late for my second class as well. I left the house in a hurry and took the bus to college. It was too late for a walk. The next 2 days, our house revolved around the baby and his needs. His mother doesn't show up at all, but Dad kept finding excuses to keep us from calling the police. Mom looked haggard most of the time, her eyes puffy and red because of waking up for the baby. I noticed that she wasn't up when I woke up for college. I usually went out with just a banana. I didn't mind adjusting, but I was worried about how much time my parents were spending on an unknown baby that would eventually be taken from them. At dinner, I decided to break my silence. We need to hand over the baby. To whom? To the police, the CPS, anyone. We're doing perfectly fine. Can't you just adjust a bit for your brother? I mean, he's like your brother if you had one. Except I don't have one. Look at Mom. She looks so tired. She looks fine. I don't. I'm so tired, and I don't even know if this is legal. We have to report it. His mother could be anywhere, and in any situation. We should really call the police. My dad just continues taking bites at the food with his head down. Dad? I'm calling the police. Now that I think of it, we shouldn't have waited at all. What if the mother is in trouble? My mom got up picking up her phone from the table, but Dad held her arm. She's not. She just wants to run away from her responsibility. What? How do you... He's my son. What? It was a mistake. It just happened. And now he's here. I didn't know she'd ever just drop him on me. What are you talking about, Anthony? Who is this woman? When did all this happen? Chris, I can't. Water. Mom sat down on the chair and I gave her a glass of water. Dad, you need to tell us everything, and then we need to call the police. It was my intern at work, Anna. She came over for work on Sunday when Chris went to meet Grandma, and he went to pick her up, but you both ended up staying there. One thing led to another, and, the 25-year-old kid you had over that day? Dad just looked down on his plate of food. She came on to me. I slipped. I'm sorry, really. That kid came on to you, and you had no self-control? And you're sorry for cheating on me and then hiding all of this for so long? I watched as Mom sobbed into her hands and Dad sat there sheepishly. This is the day my family is going to fall apart, I thought. I heard the baby crying. We all did. But it felt as if everything was moving slow and I was drained of all energy. I'm going over to Mom's. I'll come with you. I packed some of my essentials mechanically and then followed Mom outside to her car. I saw Dad, still sitting how we left him, and the baby's cry is still echoing around the house. My mom called the police on the way and explained the whole situation to them. When I asked her about it, she simply said that it was important to find where Josephine was anyway. We stayed over with Grandma for 2 days until the inspector called us, informing us that he had found Anna. He told us that her family had kicked her out when she had gotten pregnant, and she was living in a 1-bedroom apartment that Dad was paying for. However, she had gotten kicked out of the apartment as well when the families living in the building had realized that she was unmarried and a married man came to meet her regularly. Dad had blamed her for being kicked out and stopped paying her altogether. She had been living on the streets with the baby for a week and had eventually given up and dropped the baby outside our house. Strangely enough, my mom wanted to meet Anna. She invited Anna to our house and I watched as they sat together for coffee. It seemed awkward, but Anna told my mom everything. She had been infatuated with Dad, and she insisted that he was equally interested in her. They had an affair, which lasted until she got pregnant. She had to leave her job, as her pregnancy was difficult. Dad did not want to be a part of her or the baby's life, as he wanted to hide everything from us, and she couldn't afford a babysitter, thus she had been rendered dependent on the money he gave her. She had a difficult time living on the street, and even after calling Dad multiple times, he had refused to help her in his anger. She was worried that the baby would starve on the streets, so she finally dropped him off outside our house. She had been there when I pushed the bassinet inside, but I hadn't been able to see her, as she had hit herself. My mom filed for a divorce from Dad and encouraged Anna to file one as well. My dad got arrested for child neglect of his son and also had to pay a huge fine. Now he was also legally bound to keep paying child support to Anna. Anna had made her own share of mistakes, but Mom forgave her. Somehow, in their shared pain, they became friends and Mom had developed a soft spot for Eloise in the days he was living with us. Just like Dad had left Eloise, I had decided to cut ties with him. He apologized profusely and kept trying to make amends, but I couldn't forget that he had left a woman and a baby on the streets alone. If he didn't find his son's life worthy, how would mine be of worth to him? As the situation had spread like wildfire, my dad's company had to fire him as it was against their company policy, and he handled the whole situation unethically. The respect and honor for which my dad had lied to us was gone. It was replaced with accusing fingers and side glances. Anna was eventually able to get financially independent as my mom helped her out with some of her personal contacts. Mom took a transfer from her job and shifted away. I promised her that I would join her as soon as my college got over, and I did. There are some parts of our lives that will always remind us of our past. However, with the resolve to move on, we believed that we would be able to make our life complete again, even if it was just the two of us, as it's not the number of people in the family that matters, but it's the value of those people that make it a family.